Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. The transfer window might look flat. It seems that the other clubs are doing a lot of business, and it seems some of you are still okay. Sterling has gone in terms of outgoings. Romeo Lavia has left a few days back, but somehow the transfer window seems still. But then we are mopping up certain very important piece of businesses. We are mopping up certain the contracts of certain players. We're getting things together. It might not seem like we're having a busy summer like few fans have expected, but we are getting things done. The first thing in that is Riyad Mahrez, the contract of Riyad Mahrez. I think in this show we were actually talking about the importance of Riyad Mahrez, staying, because there were rumors that PSG is swooping in to replace Riyad Mahrez to replace Angel Di Maria with Riyad Mahrez, for example. There was interest for Riyad Mahrez, of course, 31 years, still has the technical ability, Riyad Mahrez to play at the top level for 3-4 more years. He's played in that Pep system, so I do think that it was important we tied up Mahrez to a new contract. Kaundinya is here. Hey Kaundinya, how are you? He says, मियाँ कैसा है मियाँ? मियाँ मैं ठीक हूँ, मैं बहुत बढ़िया हूँ. जैसे सिटी का एक्टिविटी चल रहा है इस ट्रांसफर विंडो में, आई एम एक्चुअली very good. Yeah. So the importance of this Riyad Mahrez thing is we have done something that no other club in the Premier League has managed to do it. Even Liverpool have not managed to do it under Klopp, for example. That, we have managed to keep a senior player who is 31, 32, and in the same time, we are able to get a Cole Palmer to transition into the team. We are able to get a Kaiki to go into the team. So, for example, you see Liverpool, Sadio Mane has left. Sadio Mane is what, 29, 30 now. He has left without being able to offer his experience to a new player. Okay, Luis Diaz has come, Darwin Núñez has come, who can play on that side. But we have done this with Fernandinho very well, also as well. This other clubs are not able to do, and I do think that this sort of a thing, the mentoring, the guidance of a senior player staying long in a club to offer his experience to the juniors coming in, to young players who are breaking into the team. It's very underrated. I think this is one of the reasons why the transition for Pep Guardiola has become easier. You see, why are transitions difficult in teams? Why do teams lose their edge when the transition is happening? Go back to that Arsenals. Go back to the invincible era of that Arsenals. Why did that Arsenal team, the great invincible Arsenal team, break down? The primary reason was that Patrick Vieira left, Thierry Henry left, all of those players left without showing the path to the youngsters, without being around. So there was always a possibility that this could happen with City, and Pep Guardiola has done a very good thing. And the thing is, we have learned from our mistakes in the past. We have offered people like Zeko, for example, after the 2013 11-12 season, and all. We have offered Zeko long contracts. We have offered people long contracts, and then they tend to fall off, and we are like stuck with them. United is stuck in that sort of a thing right now, offering contracts to players beyond a certain time frame and being stuck with them. So with these players who are crossing 30, 31, and who Pep thinks are of real utility to the team, we are offering them 1 year, 2 year extensions, and that is what we have done here with Riyad Mahrez. Again, it's like I want to repeat it, that we have done something that it's a model for other clubs to follow. It will become a model for other clubs to follow in the future. And also regarding this captaincy team, Riyad Mahrez we will be very crucial in that captaincy engine room. Gundogan, KDB, Riyad Mahrez. You have this spine of this team still around, while you're transitioning in players like Erling Haaland, players like Cole Palmer, James McAtee. I think it is this continuation which teams really struggle to maintain. JSK is here. Hey JSK, good evening. How are you? He says, hello. Yes, JSK. How are you? And it's this continuation, transitioning while staying competitive is something which is very difficult in teams. We've seen so many examples of teams in the past fall away, right from your AC Milan to the Invincibles, like we discussed. So it's a very good signing. It's almost like a new signing. Riyad Mahrez, signing his contract for 2 more years. He's set to stay till 2025 at the club. So this is the reason that the transfer window actually appears flat, but it is not. We are mopping up the contracts in the background. Vinay says after Sterling, Ake, why Salisu would come to City. I would just come to that Salisu thing. Actually, we'll discuss about that Salisu thing in detail. Actually, first I'll finish off with this new contracts. Now, Rodri has also signed a new contract. It's a 5-year deal. And also in his interview yesterday, Rodri was telling about how he intends to retire at the club and all. Seeing this new contract, seeing the intentions, I do think that we have a new member in our captaincy team and a new member who can lead like a future Fernandino, a new member who can take on the reins from a Gundogan, from a Kevin De Bruyne in 1 or 2 years. So Rodri signing, see, suddenly you haven't done any business, but with Riyad Mahrez and Rodri signing, suddenly you already have that spark. You already have that person who will guide you into the new era. Okay, there is De Bruyne, there is Gundogan, but they might not be around, right? In the next 1-2 years, they will go. After that, what? This is the continuation puzzle. But suddenly we have a Rodri who's committed his future to the club, which is never in doubt according to me. You have a Ruben Diaz who's there. So it's this development of leadership as well that has been a great achievement of Pep. It's not just what he does on the field, but off the field as well. How he has kept that leadership group together, how he has maintained that spirit in the dressing room. That's very interesting for me. JSK says we should go for a decent centre back from Championship instead of going for a big money centre back. Vinay says Salisu probably is 30 million, good for back, but concern is game time. It's a very interesting thing. When at the earlier point you made about that Ake comparisons, that was actually the problem in replacing Ake, because which very good world class centre back would come to be a fourth choice centre back at your club, because we want to win all of the four trophies, and to win all of the four trophies you need good backup centre backs, and they play in the Carabao Cup, they play in the FA Cup. With the amount of games you get a fair amount of games in the Champions League, Premier League, so you need a good enough centre back even though he's a fourth choice. But why would he be happy to be on the bench? That's a big question, and honestly I don't have the answer to it, and that is one difficulty of replacing Ake. That is why many people are saying that it's almost impossible to replicate that Ake thing, because captaincy material, a world class centre back who has captained Bournemouth, who's been through tough situations, who is very good in one-on-one things. That is one of the reasons why I do think that uh, what's his name, Gvardiol would be more interesting in this aspect. See, let us compare the ages of Salisu and Gvardiol. Salisu is what? Salisu is 24, right now. Gvardiol is 20, and Vinay, you're actually right, because why would a 24 age centre back come and accept a fourth choice position at City? Because Salisu doesn't have much to develop now. Okay, he learn the methods of Pep and stuff, but 24 years, 25 years, you're suddenly getting into your prime. You're coming from Southampton, right, where you will play regularly, suddenly coming and sitting. Okay, he wants to win trophies, but actually it might degrade his development. He might go down sitting on the bench for so long. So I think that's where the experience of Ake also came. See, if you want to sit on the bench, there are two things. Why is Mahrez good at sitting on the bench, for example, for certain periods, and then coming back and certainly he clicks into form? Why is it with Mahrez? Why is it with Sterling? Why is it sometimes with Gabriel Jesus? They have good level of experience in the top level actually. So So you know that even if you sit on the bench, you know how to come out straight away and play. But with Salisu, I don't think that's the case. Sitting for prolonged periods on the bench may hamper his development. And so if you're sitting on the bench, there should be two reasons. You're either not good enough to play in this team or you're still developing. And Salisu is neither. He's good enough to play and he's not developing. So I don't think that going for Salisu is a good option. Actually, today, if you see the comparisons between both Salisu and Gvardiol, they're like very similar. Both have exactly same attributes as you can see on the screen. Both are very good in one-on-one duels. Both are left-footed. Both are quick. So I for a moment I thought that maybe Salisu could be better, but then when I was thinking, no, this thing sitting on the bench being fourth choice, it would certainly hamper him. JSK says we should go for a decent centre back from Championship instead of going for a big money centre back. Are there any centre backs in the Championship, JSK? Good centre backs? Because as long as I know, I don't see any good centre backs in the Championship actually. Vinay says Salisu probably is 30 million. Good for back, but concern is game. Exactly, Vinay. That's touching on your earlier point. Concern is game times. Concern is sitting on the bench. Concern is how will you react to sitting on the bench? Because at 24, 25, you're developing, right? How can that negatively affect you? I do not know. So that should be something which Pep has in mind if he has to go for Salisu. JS is here. Hey, JS, how are you? He says, in my opinion, Diaz will be a future captain after Gundogan leaves. As I think this year he'll be captain. Yes, Diaz is Diaz has been part of the captaincy group even before Rodri. I agree, but generally, Pep allows the CDM to be one of his captains. CDM to be at least in the first or second captaincy role in that pecking order of captains we have. That is because Diaz. Can you and another thing with Diaz is, can you actually guarantee that Diaz will start every match? You can't say that's guaranteed because Stones, Laporte, when Stones is fit, I certainly think that Stones, Laporte or Stones, Diaz, Stones being in that partnership is far, far more stable than a Diaz and Laporte, than a partnership without a Diaz and Laporte. So is Diaz a certain starter? I know this might be a bit controversial and stuff. I don't think Diaz is a certain starter. With Rodri, the thing is, Rodri is absolutely a certain starter. Okay, Calvin Phillips will be his understudy, but Rodri is a starter. So there are more points in favor of Rodri for me than, for example, Ruben Diaz, I would think. JSK says Gvardiol is impossible this season. Next season we can get him. His release clause will be activated, which is 43 million. And also another thing, JSK, I really want us to go to Gvardiol because as we discussed last time, this time we have a free run. All the other clubs are going for various other players. They're suffering from different things. Barca financial issues. Madrid have not recovered. That they have missed out from Haaland and all of those things. Sorry, missed out from Mbappe and all of those things. So if you have a free run, which might not be the case next season, Gvardiol, Croatian, what will you do if a Real Madrid comes, and what will you do if a Luka Modric gets on the phone and talks to Gvardiol and convinces him, same countryman? It would be out of our hands then. So I do think Gvardiol will be really in demand next season. Even a PSG might go for him because I think Ramos will leave PSG next season. So Gvardiol will be very difficult next season. It just like Haaland, it will not just be about the money next season for Gvardiol. It will be about much more factors in the background, and especially seeing that Luka Modric thing at Real Madrid and stuff. I actually fear a bit that we might not end up getting Gvardiol. And another thing about Gvardiol is he's 20 years, which means he's okay with sitting on the bench for some time, learning, developing, because he knows that 1 year on the bench or even 2 years just playing here and there, he will not be fatal to his career, unlike Salisu, who's already 24. So there are some major points. And also as a left footer, Gvardiol, he seems to be much more he seems to be much more adept at playing this Pep system, passing system, than Salisu. Salisu, Southampton is more used to sitting in that back five, back four, and defending and low block and stuff. But seeing the style of how Leipzig play, I think Gvardiol would suit us much better than Salisu. And also this age is a major thing. Age is a major factor here. Football Quicks is here. Hey, Football Quicks, how are you? He says Nabry to City is increasing day by day since Sterling is gone. Again, the thing about Nabry is, I think inconsistency is the thing for Football Quicks about Nabry. And an advantage with Serge Gnabry, he's 2 footed, he's almost 2 footed. Serge Gnabry can go inside on the outside, but the difficulty here is you can't judge too much about players from the Bundesliga, because the Bundesliga in itself is, I would say, a bit of a inconsistent tournament. Inconsistent tournament in the sense that especially when you're playing for Bayern, what is the motivation for you to train hard every day, because you know that 9 out of 10 times you will go back home with the Bundesliga title, 9 out of 10 times you'll win the DFB Pokal. So I do think the level drops off in the Bundesliga as well, so you can't judge players from the Bundesliga in that aspect. And when Pep is going for replacing Raheem Sterling this season, again it's this model. I think Pep is actually looking at this position, the right wing. Do I have someone in the academy? The answer is, fortunately, the answer is yes here. Yes, Pep has Cole Palmer in the academy. Do I have someone else in the academy? Kaiki. Okay, Cole Palmer. Let me come to Cole Palmer. Is Cole Palmer better than Gnabry? Second checklist. Napri, okay, he has more experience at the international level, and but I already have an experienced campaigner in Mahrez. So now bringing in Napri will block the path of Cole Palmer. So I think there are the odds of getting Napri are very less here, because it's not just Cole Palmer. You're suddenly blocking the path of Kaiki as well, who could play there. Suddenly Riyad Mahrez, who signed a new contract, will be having doubts. And another thing about Napri is, Riyad Mahrez, I think if Riyad Mahrez did not sign the contract, and if Riyad Mahrez is going, I think we are a sure shot, we are odds on to get Gnabry. But with Mahrez staying and you wanting to promote Palmer and Kaiki, I think where is the game time if Gnabry comes? Mahrez will suffer, Palmer will suffer. It will almost be like you're neither here, neither there. And also the confidence, the psychology of the youth system, the psychology of the players coming through in that position will suffer. The wingers that are developing in the under 18s, under 19s will think, oh, I'll have to look at the Jadon Sancho model than at the Phil Foden model now that my boss doesn't trust us. Especially with someone who, see, if someone is not capable of playing in that position, and you bring in a replacement, that is fine. But when you have someone of capability in your own homegrown club and you bring another player, I think the player will be very unhappy. The youth system will be unhappy. So I think Napri will not come. Football Quick says Wesley Fofana was linked to City, but it was just from a lower tar journalist. I think Wesley Fofana. So I do, and also Leicester. I think Leicester, especially in the case of centre backs, are actually hard bargainers. It's difficult to do a deal with Leicester unless you're doing it from a long time, and you're preparing it from a long time and stuff. So I don't see Wesley Fofana coming, but we are gonna get linked with a lot of left-footed centre backs: Gvardiol, Fofana, Salisu. So all of the left, it's almost like I'm surprised that why we are not linked with Pau Torres. You know, the silence around Pau Torres is actually surprising. And I don't know, I don't want this to happen. But what do you guys think? Is there any chance for us to go and sign a Pau Torres? Suddenly, left footer Ake is leaving. I don't want that to happen, because 45 million pounds, you may as well as spend 10-15 million pounds more and get a Gvardiol, for example. So I don't want Pau Torres because he's slow. Pau Torres, you'll almost be getting another Aymeric Laporte if you get a Pau Torres there. You know, what is the thing with Laporte? He's a bit slow. Okay, covers it with his positional sense and prowess, but he is slow. So I do think if we get a new defender to replace Ake, he should be an upgrade on what Ake has offered. Should be, and I think Guardiol is the one actually. JS captain is chosen by player, not Pep. captains are chosen by players. I know that, but then I think Pep has an influence on the decisions actually, and then I even if Pep doesn't have that influence, I think it's pretty much obvious who's the leader in the dressing room. You don't have to. I think if you're having to name players, if the coach is having to name, he will be your captain, like United are doing with Harry Maguire, for example, and all. I think that is where cracks are starting. But at City, it's all like the players know who's the leader, then who's the leader on the pitch, in the dressing room, who gives them talk. So I don't think captaincy will be that much of an issue. Vinay says Gvardiol is dream. We don't have any player to sweeten the deal. Gvardiol is dream. Vinay Gvardiol is like, I think he's the heir to, I would say, Laporte. Laporte is what, 27, 28 right now. So I think by the time in 2 years, I think Gvardiol will be getting a lot of game time, and I would not be surprised if on the outset as well that Gvardiol goes on. Suddenly he pushes Aymeric Laporte out of the team for a while, because having a centre back who's good on the ball with good pace, those both are deadly combinations. I know pace is not everything for a centre back. Legendary centre backs like John Terry were as slow as snails, but they were legendary. So pace is not everything. But if you have that pace along with an exceptional reading of the game, along with that exceptional recognition of spaces, I think that really makes the deal much more sweeter, like you said. Yes, football fix exactly. Guardiola can be Laporte's hair. Uh, Football fix says Rodri is the future captain. What I know so far, they were teasing also. Plus, he's also vocal. Plus, Spanish. Yes, exactly. And also, Pep likes, like we talked about earlier, Pep likes a CDM to be one of the captaincy guys in the group. So Rodri is definitely the future captain. Football Brick says we should give Ederson the captaincy at least. He'll be serious at time. I think it's a bit of a problem, Football Bricks, if Ederson actually gets serious, because in those situations, Ederson almost plays on the plays like he's walking on a knife's edge, and I think if he's serious about those moments, when, for example, the attacker is closing him down and he suddenly dummies him and passes the ball, if he's serious at those times, that is when you start panicking as a player. I think it is this quality of Ederson not to read too much into that, not to take it heavily, take it lightly. I think that is what has made Ederson who he is. Because anyone with more emotions in that situation than Ederson, you go and concede a chance over there when the attacker is pushing down on you. Jessica says, by the way, how about MBT to replace Ake? MBT has played a few minutes this season, right, Jessica? I personally don't think Luka MBT is ready. I might be wrong again. He might have an excellent preseason and he might break into the team, but I don't think Luka MBT is actually ready to break into the first team. That is why we are having all these links with the centre backs. And sources around City state that Pep bought in Luka MBT last season because we were short of centre backs, injuries and stuff. He bought in CJ Egan Riley as well. But Pep thinks MBT needs at least 1 year, 2 years more to actually develop. And also it's an interesting thing. In the 6 years or so under Pep, how many defenders have broken into the team? And Eric Garcia has broken into the team, right? Apart from that, no one. And we had certain good prospects also coming through. Tosin Adrabioyo was one. Tila Howard Ballas sent on loan. So we have Callum Doyle is another who's sent on loan. So we have actually had centre backs coming through. But I think Pep really looks for certain key attributes in his centre backs to throw them onto the deep end. For first, one thing is, when you're a centre back in a Pep Guardiola system, you're literally fighting a war with bullets without wearing a bulletproof jacket, because you're literally dealing in one-on-one duels. At least 2-3 duels you'll have to face every match. So, I mean, conceding high quality chances from those duels, conceding goals is not a question. If you, for example, play a youth player and he concedes a goal in that one-on-one duel, what will happen to his confidence? There have been instances in the past when managers have thrown youth players early. Confidence was shattered due to those events. So Pep takes extra care in promoting the youth. He judges the mental space. How does someone react to situations when they're not good, when he has done a mistake? How does he react? I think that is one aspect which Luka MBT is actually lacking in. So I don't think Pep actually trusts him, at least now. Football Bricks says we have so many right wingers right now. If I want someone from Bayern, we should get our boy Sane back. The problem with Sane has been, after Sane has left, the news has come that Pep was not actually happy about his attitude and stuff. See, Sane is a world class winger, right? But Sane is world class. But the problem with Sane was Sane stopped growing up after a while. After a while, Sane's performances made him think that he's at the very top of the world. But Pep, as a coach, knows he has coached Lionel Messi, top players, Iniesta, Xavi, De Bruyne. Pep knows that a player can improve more and more. There's nothing like the top. And Sane was not ready to listen. Sane was almost getting stagnated at that level. That's why we sold him. And you can see the result at Bayern Munich as well. He's not performed well. So I think this is another knack of legendary managers. This is another knack of building legendary teams, identifying players when they have reached their extreme top and they're stagnating, when they are in their prime, and letting them go. We saw this with Alex Ferguson. We sold David Beckham to Madrid when he was in his prime and built a new team, for example. Ferguson had done it over and over again with his United teams. Guardiola is doing it now with his City teams. That is why I actually find it funny when Chelsea fans say that Raheem Sterling, oh, you have sold a player in his prime. But is it not what really big teams do? Is it not what legendary teams do? Sell your players when they're in their prime to the outside world, because as a coach you notice that they have reached their level and they can't go beyond that. So that is actually the problem with Sane. Otherwise, those Sane days, that Centurion days, were so special. Even now, I actually put on the highlights of the Centurion days, guys, and YouTube and see it. David Silva passing, Sane running through, pass to Raheem Sterling goal, winger to winger goals, the pace of Sane, the passing of David Silva, the guile of Aguero, the movement of De Bruyne, Sterling. Those were wonderful days. The Centurion season, I think in terms of pace, in terms of agility, in terms of creativity, I think we have had the perfect balance in that Centurions team. Afterwards, yes, we have won Premier League titles, but we have not had such kind of a balance, right? If there is pace, there is no movement. There were a lot of things after that. JS says, I don't think we will sign right winger, but if Palmer doesn't reach the expectations, we might go for him in winter window. I think Pep will actually give Palmer an entire year, because he's almost like the poster boy of our academy before moving in. For Napoli or someone in the winter window. And also, I know deals can be done in the winter window, but I don't think City generally do deals in the winter window. I know we have done Diaz, we have done, Julian Alvarez in the winter window and stuff like that. But the thing is, when you go for a deal in the winter window, the other club knows that you're desperate. So that is one of the reasons when the asking price might be actually higher. So I actually don't think that we might go in the winter window, but I do think that we'll give Palmer the entire season a chance. It's not just Palmer, it's Kaiki as well. So Kaiki and Palmer the chance in the entire window. Football Quick says Jules Kunde. We'll actually talk about Jules Kunde, Football Quick. Jules Kunde is interesting. One which is not linked with us. I know that's a strategy always. But guys, Jules Kunde is right-footed, right? Jules Kunde is not left-footed. I think Jules Kunde is right-footed, and that's another reason why we are not getting linked to Jules Kunde, because three right-footers, I don't think Pep will want that in his team. Vinay says Kunde is 65 millions and Barca are close with him. And also we went for Kunde, right? It's funny. One thing is Chelsea have got Koulibaly, right? Just now almost Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it. So Chelsea have got Koulibaly, but I think in the summer of 2019, right? We were in for Koulibaly as the top target. That entire season I was like, we will get Koulibaly, and Napoli were hard negotiators, they didn't sell us. And then we went for Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé also didn't want to come to us. And then finally we ended up with Ruben Diaz. So you look how destiny plans things for you. Sometimes you really want a player. You see that player and nothing else. But destiny tells you no, he's not the player, and we got Ruben Diaz, and look at how good a player we have got. So I also think this city's policy of quoting a price and that's it, we will not go above that price, I think it has done more good to us. That's another excellent transfer strategy that we have followed. It has helped us to dodge bullets of Alexis Sanchez, dodge bullets of Harry Maguire, dodge bullets of, at the time of Kunde, Koulibaly. So I don't think we go in for Kunde again, because you see the history of how we do transfers. Okay, Laporte is an exception, but apart from that, we have gone for a player once, he didn't come, we don't go back for him again, we search for another alternative. That's how we have done our business. Football fixes. I really don't want any French player at City. They have a lot of attitude. uh, exactly, bench, and also French players haven't worked out well for us, right? Benjamin Mendy didn't work out well for us, and also another thing. Uh, which French player? I almost forgot his name. There was another French player I wanted to mention. Yes, Kimpembe. Kimpembe is another centre back target, right? The name of Kimpembe is being heard around a lot because it seems that Chelsea are targeting Kimpembe as well. And I was thinking, how would Kimpembe be at City? But again, French players, that attitude thing. I know that's why Laporte left the French team. I know that. Weirdly, they have an attitude. But Kimpembe would actually be good. But again, I do think that are we getting an upgrade over Aymeric Laporte if we are getting a Kimpembe? No, I don't think even Kimpembe is prone to mistakes. Kimpembe for me it always looks like he is prone to some other or the other kind of mistakes. Football fixes from Southampton. We should go for Walker Peters. Kyle Walker Peters is good, but I think we have some good alternatives at right back coming up. Kyle Walker is there, and also Joao Cancelo. I think he's the replacement of Kyle Walker, but there is Jan Kuto who's coming up, so I don't think right back is an area of concern. Now my only area of concern is a left back position. Cucurella, the silence over that Cucurella thing actually terrifies me. I somehow want to get that Cucurella thing done. I still cannot believe it. There must be a strong reason why we are not going for Cucurella now, because I almost find it impossible to believe that we are not getting a player that Pep wants before the preseason games begin. I don't know. Either Pep might be confident that Cucurella can, okay, he's educated in La Masia, he has all the attributes, he has the understanding of my system, he can just fit into my system like a glove fitting my hand. Either Pep Guardiola would have told that to the board, or the board are really thinking maybe 50-60 million pounds is an excessive valuation for Cucurella. I think we need to make an exception for Cucurella here. I think we need to pay what Brighton asks in the case of Cucurella. The reason being there are no more alternatives linked, right? David Raum came, and what other alternatives came? No more alternatives. So I don't know what is happening here. And strangely, just like the centre back thing, right? There are journalists linking whatever tier it may be, lower tier, upper higher tier. There are journalists linking that. Linking players to a club, right? Players who the club needs, but this is again, I find this thing strange that no player, no left back has been linked with us. When the Cucurella links were leaked by City to the journalists, it's the journalists who were close to the City, like Sam Lee, who first came out with this Cucurella link. So I find this entire silence strange. I don't think in any transfer window we have had such a silence around a player which the whole world knows that we want. And Fabrizio Romano keeps on saying in all of his transfer updates that Cucurella is still City's top player, Cucurella is still City's top target this summer. Okay, he's the top target. Sam Lee says he's the top target. David Ornstein says he's the top target, and nothing else. I can't actually comprehend this. Do we have a backup? No. I think it's only because Benjamin Mendy is not there. Obviously, he'll not come. So it's just Zinchenko, right? And if with Ake going, we will be really light on cover on that side. That is strange. Football tricks is Sane goal versus Liverpool, in which we won the treble. Exactly right. That 2018-19 season, that goal, when I think it was at Anfield, right? We defeated Liverpool by 1 point to the league title that season as well. 18-19 season, and Sane scores the winning goal there. That was also superb. That time we were 7 points behind Liverpool, right? Getting January the 2nd of 2019, I still remember the date, Aguero having a near post finish, and then it was 1-1. I thought, oh, gone, title gone. And then Sane races through and he scores a goal. Memories of Sane from the Centurion season, memories of Sane from that 18-19 season. Wonderful memories. When I says Chelsea Football Club signed Koulibaly, still they want Ake. Yes, Vinay, because both Christensen and Rudiger have gone off, right? So I think there is still need for Chelsea in that department, because they're actually out of centre backs. Chelsea right now, who do they have? Thiago Silva is old right now. He can't start every match. Literally, it's just that young player. I don't remember his name. It's a young academy player. It's centre back for Chelsea now, Thiago Silva, and that's it. So they are looking, and also Chelsea play a three at the back system. So they need three centre backs actually. Even if you think of Koulibaly and Thiago Silva, they still need one more experienced centre back, right? And you basically need to replace, if two of your first choice centre backs have gone out in Rudiger and Christensen, you need to replace them. So I think they're going for Ake. Today on the social media, I read somewhere that City fans are a bit relieved that now Chelsea have got Koulibaly. Chelsea might not go for Ake. I'm like, they still need Ake as well, and the Ake negotiations are almost advanced. Its news is also coming out that from various reliable sources that the fee agreed is between 45 to 50 million pounds, including the add-ons. So that deal will also be pretty much announced by the end of the week. Football Critic says we are trying to get in for cheap, I suppose. Plus now we are linked to Gvardiol. That's why he can play as left back as well. Yes, Gvardiol can play as a left back as well. That's an excellent point there, because Gvardiol has pace, passing, all of the attributes that you see. The problem with Ake at left back was Ake was not good offensively at left back. He could not go into those spaces like Zinchenko. So last season the problem was with Zinchenko, you are almost playing half of a left back, in the sense you're just playing an attacking left back who is good defensively but not good at the level. And with Ake, you're playing another half of a left back who's not good offensively, who's just good defensively. So I think that is a big problem which Pep struggled with. And also, Ake is not good in coming infield as well. Is not at all good in an attacking sense. So I do think that we need a Cucurella or we need a Gvardiol. But another thing as well, if Cucurella comes, I don't think we need another centre back. Maybe Pep will not go for another centre back, or maybe the silence around Cucurella is maybe Pep Guardiola think that Gvardiol is an alternative to Cucurella, because you see Cucurella is primarily a left back who can play at centre back. Gvardiol is primarily a centre back who can play at left back. So Pep thinks that both are versatile, both can adapt to that situation. So I think that is why there is silence. So I'm feeling to think now that we either get Cucurella or we either get Gvardiol. We'll get one of them for sure. JSS, I think Sterling and Ake deals are dealing Cucurella deal. I actually don't think so, JS. I find it a bit strange. You might have a valid point over there, and I do think you have a valid point, but I find it a little bit strange because we are not that club that working on one deal, like United, for example. It stalls all of the other deals. So we are not something like that. We have shown in the past that we can work on multiple deals and get it done one after the other. So that's why I find all of this a little strange actually. The only thing here is the negotiations are actually the valuation might be actually higher for Cucurella. The reason being Spurs moved first for Bissouma. Had we got Cucurella first, I think we would have got him for 40-45 million pounds at the most. Now with Bissouma sold, I actually don't think that Cucurella is. And Brighton want to sell Cucurella because they've got that money for Bissouma. JSS, I think still, yes, we have gone through that. Vinay says, you think we should have gone for Ajax, Lisandro Martinez as Ake replacement? By the way, he's pushing for United. Yes, Lisandro Martinez and Hurrien Timber also, I think, was another name. But Lisandro Martinez is the one who United and even Arsenal also, are also pushing for Lisandro Martinez, right? But at this point, I don't think we go for Lisandro Martinez because we obviously don't want to get into a bidding war. We saw it with Harry Maguire, right? As soon as United came and made that bid, we went away. And I still am thankful to the stars that we went away that day from Harry Maguire because we could easily have, outbid United and got Harry Maguire. So I don't think we get Lisandro Martinez, but I don't think the qualities that Pep is looking for are there in Lisandro Martinez. I think you're looking at a Gvardiol, you're looking at a Cucurella. I think they're at a much advanced stage of their development. And also with Lisandro Martinez, I don't think you get that versatility you're getting for with Cucurella or Gvardiol, where they can play in multiple positions, left fullback and centre back. I think Lisandro Martinez is purely a centre back, and I don't think, especially with Zinchenko leaving and stuff, Pep doesn't want to sign a non-versatile player. JSS also we are finding Ake also we're finding Ake replacement. Yes, exactly. JSS, do you play FPL? Yes, JS, I play FPL. I play this thing. I play the draft version of the FPL actually. There are two things in FPL, right? Where yeah, I play the draft thing. Football Kick says, guys, we need to calm. We already have our prime target. Deals are done, so no need to panic. We need to sign a left back or left footed centre back. Football crease on this. I think there's no need to panic. But the ironic thing is, I would also say that we might need to panic actually because you know what this season sounds like. 2018-19 season, right? We won the league over Liverpool with 1 point. And then what happened the next season? Ake was injured, and then we never quite recovered from that. Okay, I know that we have Ruben Diaz this season, but again, there could be an element of doubt in Pep's mind. There is an element of doubt in the mind of our fan base, of our fan community, that what if Laporte gets injured? Playing two right-footed centre backs, for example, we don't get a prime targets and Ake leaves. Well, if Laporte is injured and we don't get our so will Pep be able to sustain playing two right footers in the defense for an entire season? I don't think so. His entire system could break down in certain games. I don't think you can go to Anfield with two right-footed centre backs and play against a counter-attacking Liverpool team. I don't think you can deal with a counter-attacking Spurs team playing two centre backs who are right-footed. Especially for certain games, Pep knows that he needs a left-footed centre back over there. So that is the reason for panic here, football freaks. So I do think it might not seem that way because we have won the Premier League title, and also generally when a team is doing well, you have that place to, it's okay even if you miss out on a prime target and stuff. You have that place to hide a bit, cover yourself a bit, but problems may show up if we don't address the areas where we are lacking in, and I think we need to actually get a left-footed. It might be a fullback, it might be a centre back, but we need to get a left-footed player who plays in both the positions. And if Ake leaves and we don't manage to find a replacement for him, I think we get a Cucurella, and then we don't let Zinchenko go. That Zinchenko talk has calmed down again. So I think we'll be perfect if we get a Cucurella and we keep Zinchenko, or if we get a Gvardiol and we keep Zinchenko. Because I think for lesser games, you can play Zinchenko. He parks the bus, and opposition parks the bus. Zinchenko is fine. I think it is in big games, big Champions League nights where you actually need your centre backs fit. See, for example, how we have struggled this season. This season in the Champions League is a big example of why we should get our centre back targets. John's Atletico Madrid game. One game changed our season, according to me, in Europe. John Stones was Kyle Walker was injured, and John Stones picked up an injury against Real Madrid. I bet you if we had a good centre back alternative, if we had a Cucurella or someone, we go to the final of the Champions League, and we would have probably won it maybe. So so I think that is another reason why Pep really wants to bring in that fourth choice centre back. Jesus Martinez was CDM converted into centre back. So that's interesting. I didn't know this about him, but can Lisandro Martinez play in that full back position? Can he play in that left back position? I don't know, because right now we do not want a centre back who can play at CDM, because CDM position is covered by the way. We want a centre back who can play at that left back position, and also right-footed centre back position is also covered because Calvin Phillips can play there, CDM centre back. So I think it's that left-footed left side of the defense, if I can call it. That is where I do think the problems are there. Football Critics says we are again doubting on Stone's ability. Again, I suppose, but I know we might eventually sign Pau Torres. It's not the ability of John Stone's Football Critics that I'm doubting. It's just his injuries, you know. I think 2018-19, that season, when we were, I mean, at the end of that season, John Stones was heavily injured, and when we were linked with Koulibaly and stuff, you know, I was like, John Stones should now leave the club in 2019. This is what I thought, because you know John Stones is getting nowhere with his career at City, and he's already 25, 26 back then. I thought he should move somewhere and rejuvenate his career. It will be good for everyone. But after that season, the following season, John Stones absolutely showed his character, the personality he is, and for half of the next season, John Stones was a very good defender for us. So the man has personality, the man has character. He has his bounce back from tough situations, not just on the field, off the field as well. So I have no doubts about John Stones in that aspect. He has bounced back from tough injuries as well, John Stones. The only thing is, how worse can his injury record get? Because we need John Stones in big games, and the thing with John Stones is he somehow finds himself injured before those big games. I find it a bit strange. It's bad luck. It's whatever you might call it. So that is my worry with John Stones. Never a doubt about the player he was, about his attitude, about his style of play. So it's just about injuries with John Stones. JS says, should we go for an experienced centre back who has the experience of winning UCL, someone like Ramos or Thiago Silva? This is an interesting point actually, because I think the one place where we are actually struggling, especially in Champions League situations, is that when we are put under the cosh, you know. I mean, I'm just not talking about the second leg of Real Madrid. I'm talking even about the first leg, right? Real Madrid, Ferland Mendy plays a cross in which has an XG of 0.23, and Benzema converts it into a goal. So the thing is, we are needing to create high quality chances to score goals, and we are gifting opposition on low quality chances, and it's nothing wrong with the centre backs. I just think that the occasion is getting to them, especially at that semi-final stage, quarter-final stage, mainly at that semi-final stage. So it's a very good point. But Ramos, I think we need an experienced centre back who is good at playing Pep style of football as well. Thiago Silva could be good actually, but I don't think Chelsea will sell any centre backs. Chelsea will just Chelsea are just looking to stock up their options in that centre back position. Thiago Silva, Ramos. Can I think of any other centre backs who are experienced and who could be very good for us? I don't know. There aren't many experienced centre backs right now who are looking to move. How would PK be? I always thought that PK would struggle in the Premier League. I know it's done with good with Barcelona, but PK would struggle in the Premier League. So uh, that's another thing. Football Critics says, how about Demiral from Juventus? I've heard he's a very exciting prospect. I don't know about Demiral actually, but I've surely heard about him. They rate him very highly at Juventus. But the information about Demiral is that the news is that Juventus don't want to sell Demiral. So this is not a new information. I think last season or before that there were some links with Demiral actually when he was just breaking into the Juventus team. There were huge links, but Juventus obviously didn't want to sell. So So I think Demiral is not an option, and also I think even with Demiral, Juventus will ask 50-60 million pounds because he has a long contract with them, and Juventus don't need to sell. And especially with Delift going to Bayern, I think any business from Juventus is not going to happen. JS is, yes, we have read that experience centre back in Maul Diaz into one of the best. I think so. I think so. An experienced centre back in Maul Diaz into the best. But do we? The problem here is this: do we have an experienced centre back who is well versed in the Pep system himself? That is difficult. I think Company, maybe I hope for Company to stay for 1-2 more years. I know he had injuries, a lot of injuries. I know he wanted to start his coaching career, but maybe I thought 1-2 more years like Fernandino if Vinny had stayed. I think that was the thing. Vinny was a Rolls Royce defender. It's just a shame that Pep Guardiola came at the fag end of Vinny's career when he was plagued with injuries. I was just thinking the other day that how would it be if Vincent Kompany was 24, 25 and Pep Guardiola came to England, and that would just be fantastic. Vinny would be absolutely better than even Van Dijk and all of those big defenders. Football Fix says PK is an ex United player. Is he an ex United player or is he an ex Liverpool player? Not Ramos. Xabi Alonso was an ex Liverpool player, right? Yes, PK is an ex United, but then it's almost like saying Jadon Sancho is an ex City player. Yes, he is an ex City player, but Sancho didn't play much for City, right? So I don't think that will be a problem with PK because ultimately PK was sent away from the United team to another league and stuff. So that will not be the problem. The problem is PK adapting to the physicality of the Premier League. See, it's not just about bringing in an experienced defender. You know that suits a lot of things because he'll be content to sit on the bench as a fourth choice. He will be content to pass on his experiences coming in Carabao Cup matches and stuff like that. But again, see, this is a dilemma. This is a dilemma. JS made a good point that an experienced centre back can actually mold Diaz into one of the best. But the dilemma here is: do you give that fourth choice centre back spot to a young player? Just not from the academy, it could be a Gvardiol or someone else. Do you develop a hair to a Laporte or a hair to a John Stones, or do you give that spot to a senior player, an experienced centre back? I think I think Pep is facing that conundrum now in every position, not just centre back position, even the right wing position. Like we were discussing, Serge Gnabry is an option, but again Palmer is there. In the midfield, we could go for someone, but we have McAtee coming through. So it's in every position there is that dilemma. Actually, I think the best answer to that is Pep would like to think the thing what has happened with the Fernandino, what has happened with the Mahrez. Pep would ideally want it to happen with the Gundogan, with the De Bruyne when they're winding up their careers. Stay 1-2 more years and guide like a Fernandino has guided a Rodri, and like Mahrez is guiding his next players. I think that is the scenario which Pep wants, but at centre backs we don't have that scenario right now, and it's going to be very tough because it's not just about replacing Ake, it's about the methodology which you implement in replacing Ake. Senior centre back or youth, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to build towards? I think that is an interesting thing. Football Freak says if you're gonna go big, then go for Alfonso Davis. JSS PK and Pep don't go well. Yes, PK and Pep don't go well because I know that there have been clashes with both of them, between both of them since the Barcelona days. I mean, Alfonso Davis, football picks. I'm not convinced that Alfonso Davis can. I know he has a lot of pace, but pace is not the problem here. I think Alfonso Davis, he might seem like a Rolls Royce left back and stuff, but with Alfonso Davis, his recognition of spaces is not good actually. The example is that Villarreal game, which Bayern Munich went out in the second leg. Villarreal score a counter attack. It was the mistake of Alfonso Davis there. He leaves too much space behind and stuff. So it's that I think Alfonso Davis is actually a bit weak in the sense of the positional play and stuff on the outside. Alphonso Davies might look as a more intent sort of a signing where you're signaling to Liverpool, your biggest rival, for example, that you can't even catch us this Premier League. But overall, Cucurella could be the signing that could unlock the doors to that Champions League trophy, that could unlock another dimension of a Pep Guardiola system. It's not Alphonso Davies, it's not pace. I think it's not pace. Football Fix is United player. Yes, yes. Okay, PK is a United player. Actually, no, I was always confused Liverpool or United. Xabi Alonso was the one who was a Liverpool player. Football Fix says PK was part of United winning team which won UCL in 2008-10. But PK didn't play an active part then, right? Football Fix. Because I think that was one of the reasons why PK actually went away from the United team. Football Freaks says there was a link of Arsenal to Kieran Tierney as well. He could actually be a great option. It's interesting, Football Freaks, that the link to David Raum and Kieran Tierney, they come on the same day or in the space of 2 days and then they disappear. So I think it could be it could be a link that could have been leaked by the respective agents of both David Raum and Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney, you're right, he could have been perfect at the centre back and left back position. But again, with Kieran Tierney, I think injuries are an issue. How many times was he injured for Arsenal? I think more than half of the last season he was injured for Arsenal. Before that, he missed a couple of months with injuries. So after Benjamin Mendy, I really don't want us to go for a left back again, spending that 40-50 million pounds and bringing in an injured player and stuff like that. I'm tired of these injury things. It's just kudos to Pep that from 2017 to 2022 right now, we have won so many Premier League titles. Back to back, twice Premier League titles twice, done a treble without a left back. I mean, if we were not winning, that issue would have been battered by the media that City's recruitment is very bad. 50 million pounds on Benjamin Mendy gone down the drain. Claudio Bravo, that investment gone down the drain. It's just that we are winning so much that the press is not talking about that failed left back transfers. JSS Bastoni or Skriniar. Skriniar is not a Pep sort of a player, I think, JS, but Bastoni is interesting. But isn't Bastoni actually a bit slow? I actually thought Bastoni was pacey, but Bastoni is not that pacey. And would Bastoni love to come to Bastoni is from Inter Milan, right? Would Bastoni love to come to City? I see. Generally, the problem with getting players from the Italian league is it's a bit difficult to judge them. That their league is slow. Their league is built on the foundations of defense, and the Premier League is built on the foundations of fast-paced wingers attacking the unrelentless football. So always when we are linked with Italian sort of defenders, don't mean they're bad. Legendary Italian defenders, Baresi and all of them were there in the past. So no doubt on that. But I mean, have there been any successful defenders coming into the Premier League from an Italian club in the near future? And in the near past, I do not know. I do not remember any actually. So Skriniar, I don't think we will ever go for Skriniar. Skriniar is almost like you could say an other alternative to Harry Maguire. It's only that he's a bit more mobile. He's than Harry Maguire, but Bastoni is an interesting one, but I don't think he'll move from Inter Milan. Football fixes Kieran Tierney is a brave player. That's why he could suit us well. Tierney is brave. See, Tierney has all the attributes to succeed in a Pep system, and he's played with Arteta, who almost plays that sort of a system. See, Kieran Tierney was almost, even before he went to Arsenal, Kieran Tierney was almost one of the best rated left backs in the world, coming from Celtic and stuff at that time, right? But I found it strange that no one else went for Tierney, even though we needed a left back, for example. When we didn't go for Tierney and then he went to Arsenal, maybe the reason being all those years ago no one went for Kieran Tierney is the injury record. because back then, if you remember, this was almost when I think Robertson hadn't joined Liverpool as well. So Liverpool were actively looking for a left back. We were looking for a left back. None of us went. Chelsea were also, I think, looking for left back. Then none of us went. The reason was, I think, that injury record might not be as satisfactory. That's why clubs were beware of tyranny back then. Football Twix says Skriniar is moving to PSG. PSG are actually strangely calm in this transfer window. I think PSG are focusing all of their energy on how to get rid of Neymar. But the news is that Neymar wants to stay, and actually Neymar has. It seems that Neymar has an additional clause in his contract that he can stay for 1 year or 2 more years. So I do think that PSG can't get rid of Neymar. Football Kit says, anyways, our starting 11 is based on draft pick. I can see Foden as left back, Haaland as left back, as well Alvarez as right back, and Zinchenko will play as a striker. I would actually, I think Foden won't actually mind playing in that left back position. He's been trained to play there. But Haaland at left back could actually be interesting, and Alvarez at right back. So PSG is another interesting thing. They're not as active in the transfer window. I think the reason for that is they've brought in a new transfer director, and the news around PSG is that they want to promote a lot more youth than splashing money on the players and all. That's why I didn't want even Neymar to come to us, because again that attitude Neymar as well. I know he was one of the world's best player. I don't know his situation now, but when there were strong links with Neymar, I think a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about it on the show. I was scared actually that will Neymar come to City? Will name please do not let Neymar come to City. So it's good that thing is over now. So overall, I think I can't wait for the preseason to start, especially 21st of July, I think, right? That week is gonna be a bit hectic, right? 21st of July, Club America. 3 days afterwards, we have a match with Bayern Munich, and then I think after that we have Community Shield in a week's time, right? So I know it's all calm now, but everything is gonna get rolling on from the 21st. Football Quick says, to be very honest, we should have signed Nuno Mendes. The news was that we were very close to signing Nuno Mendes last season. At the end of last season, it was. I mean, Nuno Mendes was all over, right? I even thought it was a confirmed deal that we were getting Nuno Mendes. The problem was Sporting were asking 40, I think 45 million pounds, 45 million pounds of Nuno Mendes, and City's valuation was 30, 35, and that's it. But again, isn't Nuno Mendes injury prone again? Because I've seen that whenever PSG play in a Champions League match or something, he's always injured, and they say that Nuno Mendes as well is a bit injury prone. So maybe looks like an other bullet dodged over there. Baldrick says, I strongly feel Pep will try Cancelo as a left winger. He might try. He might try. But again, playing as a left back in a Pep team is almost the same as playing as a left-sided attacking player, right? You have the chance to cut in, and you have the chance to play in those advanced positions. Jay says, why don't you collab with someone else? Yes, Football Pitch actually told it to me last time as well. I'll actually write to them, and I'm thinking of collabing once just before the season begins or something like that, so that we can have a recap of what has happened in the transfer window. So with the other guy and stuff. So I'm thinking of collabing somewhere in the last week of July or somewhere like that. So I think that would be good. That's what I'm thinking. So that I think with Nuno Mendes, like I was telling again, it's another bullet dodged, and also another thing with Nuno Mendes, this is not a versatile player. It's just a left back, and that's it. He can't play in the as a left-sided defender and all. I think with Cucurella and Gvardiol, we get an upgrade with we get an upgrade on Nuno Mendes as well. So that is actually I think it's good that we didn't get Nuno Mendes. That's what I'm realizing now. So thank you so much, guys, again for joining the chat. Very interactive discussion today. So many points we've touched upon. So many points. The window might feel flat, but there's so much stuff going around internally. Football Greek says if Cucurella comes, we might be going with a back three with two wing backs. As Cucurella is left wing back and Cancelo is right wing back. Exactly, and then the beauty of that system, Football Greek, is that even Kyle Walker can play as the right-sided centre back, right? So you can put Diaz in the middle, or maybe Stones in the middle, or whoever, and then Laporte on one side and Kyle Walker on the other side. So suddenly you have pace in your centre back system in Walker. Suddenly you have someone who's rock solid aerially in Diaz and a left footed good passer in Laporte. I think that three at the back system, people might not realize it, but I think the three at the back system is, I think Pep will play a three at the back system. I won't be surprised if Pep actually experiments with that three at the back system in the preseason as well. But the key to that is getting a Cucurella, because without getting that option of a Cucurella or a Gvardiol, we'll just be knackered. And like and there were some videos of Spurs training coming out, and Conte was just making them train very hard, and and seeing that, I think if Conte gets all of the players he wants, the only way to beat his 3-4-3 is, or 3-5-2, whatever he plays is, matching that formation, which means you're gonna play a three at the back, matching that formation, and there's no other way. See, you can't play with Spurs how he played in the return leg of the Premier League, right? This season, they will kill you for spaces. Kulusevski out wide, Son on the other side, they'll kill you for space. So the only way to defeat them is matching the formation. Pochettino showed that with Spurs against Conte's Chelsea in the 2016 season, and now I think that people will actually go back to that system. So playing a back three will be important, and that is why I'm a bit concerned, a bit worried about that Cucurella thing. We need to get it done as soon as possible. Again, thank you so much, guys, for joining, and had a fantastic time interacting with you all. So, if you've liked the video, please click on the like button, and also do click on the bell icon so that you'll get notifications whenever I put on new videos. And see you all, guys. Take care.